Greetings, all you villains out there. I'm Duuz-Diz-Din, and I'm coming at you with another chapter review of My Hero Academia. It's the conclusion to the villains arc, and we see the aftermath as a massive hole is opened up in the middle of the city where this epic showdown took place. We also get a bit of narration as well, where apparently the whole situation has been spun, mostly because of the manipulation of both Trumpet as well as Skeptics specifically with Feel Good Inc. I still love that that's the title of his corporation, Feel Good Inc. Like, I'm a major Gorillaz fan, and I'm just like, yes, thank you. Thank you, Horikoshi. But it's kind of been treated like there was a group of like 20 or so villains came in, lured the heroes out of the city, and just started going on this massive rampage, only for the citizens of the city to have fought back against them, which to a certain degree isn't wrong, it's just that's not what happened. But this is really, really interesting as it just shows the long reach that the Liberation Army truly has. Able to just completely rewrite an entire story like that. They were able to redirect traffic all out of the city and then spin this completely fictional news tale about what happened. But they even had it so that Redestro, the loss of his legs was just because he was on a visit to the city, and he ended up just losing it in a villain's attack. Then he narrowly escaped death, so it makes him seem like this sympathetic character in the eyes of the public. Now, while some people do criticize the civilians for using their quirks and feeling that led to civilian casualties, the majority of the public are just like, oh, the people are heroes, they fought back. Because, exactly, that's the plan of the Liberation Army, to make it seem like the everyday normal people rising up against threats from the outside is completely natural, and there should be more leniency in terms of how everyday normal people, well, people with quirks, are able to use that quirks in everyday situations. It's kind of like a gun law. It's just like, well, I mean, if I have it, why shouldn't I be allowed to use it? But it's a little more complicated than that. It's like it's their God-given abilities. Why not allow them to just use it if they're being threatened? It's like, yo, these hands are rated E for everyone, baby. I don't need a license to thrill. But we then go to this unknown location, as we hear that this investigation is ongoing, where we see the League of Villains is living it up in the lap of luxury, as they've all been accepted into this new Liberation Army. We see them dining on sushi. Mr. Compress is just like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted. Dabi's a little bit more harsher to Mr. Compress, but the whole situation that happened in Dika City, whatever, however you pronounce that, he wasn't really that involved. Mr. Compress didn't really have an upgrade, but then again, Mr. Compress's abilities is already pretty good, so he didn't need an upgrade or anything like that. Spinner's eating it up as well. We come to find out that Dabi actually hates fish, so I can never be friends with this man. I love me some sushi. And we also see Twice mourning over this picture of the unconscious Toga from a while back, and he's crying and he's sobbing and all that, only to find out Toga's naturally still alive. She's also got this cool eye patch, which I don't know if it's going to become a long-running thing with her, but we'll see. We'll see if her eye is just completely out of commission. I'm still kind of sad that ultimately Miss Curious is no longer around. It's unfortunate. Like, all the other members got to survive, but Curious died. Lame. I really would have liked her just sticking around, but then again, with her nature, I doubt she would have kept this story to herself. But we see that Twice is still as kind of crazy as ever, and that split personality. If anything, he's become even more unhinged as Skeptic comes in, and it's just like, hurry up, we have this meeting. But it's pretty apparent that both he and Trumpet are still not on the best of terms with the League, which makes sense. Not too long ago, they were at odds. They were completely opposed to each other, and Skeptic truly feels that they don't have enough respect for everything that they've given to them. However, ultimately, it's just like, hey, well, we're the ones who let your boss live, so a little give and take for the most part. And Trumpet's kind of rolling with it. He's just like, well, the Reed Destro, because no longer the Supreme Leader, chose these people, and his word is law. Truly feeling that Reed Destro's shift in how he's going with things is truly the way of things. And so we see the gathered remnants of the Liberation Army, and yeah, there's still a lot of those people left. I love how Gigantamachi is still just over there in the background, but there's just this massive joining of all these people. Like, this thousands of people still. Like, damn, even with all the people that the League of Villains ended up killing, there's still a ton of people in the Liberation Army. And Reed Destro addresses the army and introduces them to the new leader, Tomura Shigaraki, and as well as how their new organization will be reborn. Toga does question one thing though. Tomura Shigaraki still has one of the hands that, she originally thought all of the which were destroyed. However, Spinner says that apparently there was just one that was completely unscathed in all of the destruction. So they believe that he's going with it with his normal trademark. My belief here is that that was the one hand that All For One gave to Tomura. That one weird hand that he said was just a bonus after he had destroyed his father's hand. The one that's, I think he always put on the back of his head. So that's my belief, but if there's any greater significance to that hand, we'll hopefully see later down the line. I think there might be. I really do believe there might be. But man, Reed Destro gives this almost Führer-esque speech about how they're trying their best to enlighten the world to the will of Destro, and how he originally believed the League would be a wall that stood in their way, but it's just like, no, I saw the truth right up until I lost my legs. It was, I was bound by my blood and my beliefs and how I felt that I was the true one to lead us to victory. But now I've seen the light. Tomura Shigaraki, he is the true liberator. He is the true leader. He is the pinnacle of using your quirk without discrimination, without restriction, without the need to hide what you truly are inside. The greatness that he represents, and man, Reed Destro is just bugging out for this moment, as he's just like, this is a second coming. With Tomura Shigaraki as our supreme leader, we will grow and rise throughout the ranks, and we will give ourselves a new name, which we come to find out was actually a name improvised by Reed Destro, Spinner of all people, as Spinner. Yeah, Reed Destro and Spinner. So he asked Tomura Shigaraki to announce the new name of the United Liberation and League Joint Operation as the Paranormal Liberation Front, which is a lame name. I'm sorry, it's a lame name. The Paranormal Liberation Front? Please. That does not have the same ring to it. I'm sorry, but whatever. He says, Tomura actually gives a little bit of a speech saying we've discarded the name of villain and, expanded superpowers to incorporate a broader sense of abilities and powers. and we actually see that the remaining members of the what you would call it, the Liberation Army, Redestro, Skeptic, Twice, as well as Apocrypha, the ice user, whose real name is, well, also is that name translates to Gaten. We come to find out that person is a chick, in fact, which took me completely off guard. I'm like, what? But not that it really mattered too much at first. I figured that character would end up dying or something. It just really took me off guard to find out, oh, that's a female. Oh, okay. But, Redestro, Trumpet, Gaten, Skeptic, as well as Dabi, Twice, Himikutoga, Spinner, as well as Mr. Compress will be the new top-ranking officials in the new Paranormal Liberation Front, and they will create their various own squads they will have dominion over and lead them to new heights. But he's just like, hey, names are whatever. Call us whatever you want. We are free. We are truly liberated. So he's kind of rolling with this new placement for him. And he really does kind of feel like a boss now. He's finally gotten to the point where it's just like, damn, he has truly become too powerful. And Hawks, who is in the crowd, is especially thinking that now, because it's just like, oh no, we're too late. As we flash back to when he was talking with Dabi. It's just like, dude, what the hell happened in DK City? DK City. But Dabi kind of brushes it off. He's just like, oh, okay, so it seems like you killed Bestines, because he opens up this bag that that Hawks was carrying with him, and it looks like the corpse of Bestines. Although I really much doubt that's Bestines. It's got to be some kind of trick or illusion or something. But Hawks is lamenting the fact that, oh god, if we had gotten there sooner, we might have been able to save everyone from the city. But he starts to look around. It's just like, oh god, this is bad. Because they have this entire army, they have Feel Good Inc. under their grasp, they have the Degenerate CEO, which, has this massive connection with the hero industry, not to mention all of the high-end Nomu they probably still have in their grasp. It's just like, these people could do anything. This is a force to be reckoned with. This is the one thing we're trying the best to avoid. But now it's here. Now it's actually happening. Tomura Shigaraki has all the same force and magnitude as the Pro Hero League. It's just like, this is the worst case scenario. But then we cut to backstage where we see that Redestro has turned into a complete sniveling yes man to Tomura Shigaraki. He's become just this almost pathetic servant to Tomura's will for the most part. And, he just really drank the Kool-Aid for the most part and believes in the hype of the will of Destro and all that, which, even Trumpet kind of thinks that the way that, Redestro is acting is just a little hard to watch. But we also see that Tomura still hasn't completely recovered. He's still a little bit weak, which makes sense. But, we get a call in from the doctor, who we find out, I forget when we found out his full name, but it's Durama Ujiko. So Dr. Ujiko, contacts Tomura through his headpiece. It's just like, okay, that name, a little too much, but a little bit better than League of Villains, which I'm like, oh no, I kind of enjoyed League of Villains. But, Tomura's just like, look, tamed Gigantomachia and brought him under my will. Have I met your standards? And Dr. Ujiko's just like, okay, well, you regained your memories, you've been able to revert to your most natural state of your quirk because you were always able to do stuff like that. You just kind of suppressed your abilities, but now you are fully capable. You have Gigantomachia, you have all your memories, you have the full range of your powers, and you have forces under your control. So I'll grant you power, whatever power you desire. However, there's just one small thing I want from you. We then also see that Hawks has a feather kind of branched out into their meeting, just kind of listening in on things. He's also kind of mingling in with all the various forces of the new paranormal conglomerate and all that stuff. But then Dobby comes up to him and it's just like, okay, hey, you seem to be fitting in pretty well, Mr. Number 2 Hero. And, Hawks is just like, hey, yeah, of course. Why don't you introduce me to everyone? So, Hawks is slowly getting that in with the League or the Liberation Front or whatever. So he just wants to use this as immediately as possible in order to relay his findings to the heroes as quickly as possible. Because if he fails, Japan is dead. They're completely dead under what Tomura Shigaraki is setting out to do. But I can't see this ending well for Hawks. I just really can't, because we have to have that showdown. We have to have that really serious moment where it's just like, what happens now? There's no way Hawks can succeed in nipping this in the bud, because it really feels like Dobby is just using him as much as possible. Dobby feels like he has his own agenda, and I'm curious to see where that relationship between Dobby and Hawks actually ends up leading to. But there it is. The Paranormal Liberation Front is now a force to be reckoned with. And man, where you thought Deku was slowly getting overpowered because of the new abilities he's gained and will gain in the future, man, he's going to need all that power just to actually match up to someone like Shigaraki, because you can't get close to him. That's the thing. If Deku was going in throwing kicks and punches, what would that do against a guy who doesn't even need to touch you in order to disintegrate you? This is all what Deku needs in order to actually stand up to someone like Shigaraki. This is the only thing that's gonna give him the edge. But tell me your thoughts and theories in the comment section below. How do you feel about the new Paranormal Liberation Front? How do you feel about the name? How do you feel about this gathering under Tomura Shigaraki? Do you enjoy that he now has this greater force, or do you feel like it's too much too soon? Or do you feel like it was better when it was just a smaller group? I mean, they've lost members, they've gained members here and there. I mean, when Tomura first showed up, he had this whole regiment of villains who came in ready to throw down to take out All Might, and then it was down to a smaller core group of individuals, and half of which ended up getting captured, and they just kept losing rank until they were just in squalor for the most part after a showdown with the heroes. But now they've bolstered their ranks exponentially, and they are a real threat at this point. But we'll just have to wait and see. So again, thoughts and theories and feelings in the comment section below. If you liked this video, leave me a like. If you didn't, feel free to leave me a dislike and tell me what I did wrong in the comment section below so I might better myself for future videos. Subscribe and hit the bell icon, that way you never miss out on another My Hero Academia chapter review. And if you want to find me on social media, just Google Duuz-Diz-Din. I am everywhere, for better or for worse. And just remember that no one man should have all that power. Just, oof. Tomura is a force to be reckoned with. Bye-bye.